Good morning, everyone. My name is Feng Huimin. I'm currently a PhD Educational Management at University Malaysia Sabah, and I also work as the Deputy Director of the Academic Affairs Office at Qingdao Hengxin University in China. It's truly my pleasure to be here and share with my study some of the findings of my recent research. My study looks into how different kinds of support provided by institutions can influence teaching efficacy among lecturers. The research was conducted at a private university, and today I will take you through the key highlights. I will start with a brief introduction and a problem statement of the study, and then walk you through the research objectives and research questions, explain the methodology, share the main findings, and wrap up with the study's significance. Let's begin with the introduction. Let's begin with the introduction and the problem statement. As many of you may know, private universities in China have been growing quickly, but also along with the growth comes a lot of pressure, especially when it comes to ensuring the quality of teaching. Resources are often limited, and that affects both the institution and the faculty. Teaching efficacy, which means how confident lecturers feel in their teaching abilities, is crucial. It influences not only how they perform in class, but how students respond and learn. However, various challenges like resource limitations and workload can negatively impact their professional identity and competence, which in turn affects teaching performance. Now, even though teaching efficacy have been widely studied, there's still not enough research on how different forms of institutional support influence it. This is where my study comes in. I focus on three main types of support: organizational support, leadership support, and colleague support. Given this background, it's important to take a closer look at how teaching efficacy is currently perceived by lecturers in private universities and figure out what kind of support can actually help improve it. So, with that background in mind, let me now share the core objectives of this study. First, to find out how strong or weak teaching efficacy currently is among lecturers. Second, to understand how institutional support, meaning support from the organization, from leaders, and from colleagues, is related to teaching efficacy. Third, to see how these different types of support can predict teaching efficacy using a regression model. And next is about the research questions. This study aims to answer the question 1 about what is the current level of teaching efficacy among lecturers at private universities in China, and how do they perceive the organizational, leadership, and colleague support they receive. And question 2, are there significant relationships between those three types of support and teaching efficacy? And the third question is, to what extent can these support factors predict teaching efficacy, especially in the case of lecturers at the private university in Qingdao? To answer these questions, I carried out a quantitative study using a cross-sectional survey. The data was gathered from 116 full-time lecturers working at a private university in Qingdao. To ensure the representativeness, I used a random sampling method. The questionnaire had 48 items, and it was divided into 5 parts: representative demographic and teaching efficacy, organizational support, leadership support, and colleague support. We used a 5-point Likert scale to measure responses, ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree. All of the scale we used were previously validated, so the reliability and validity were very solid. The Kronbach's alpha values for each scale were above 0.8, and the KMO and Bartlett test confirmed that the data was suitable for factors analysis. And now, let's take a look at what the data tells us about research question 1. From the descriptive statistics, we found that the lecturers generally rated their teaching efficacy at a moderately high level. When it comes to the tips of support, colleague support got the highest scores, followed by leadership support, and then organizational support. This suggests that peer interaction and emotional support from colleagues are especially valued in this kind of university setting. That means there's still plenty of room for improvement in all 3 areas. And about research question 2, to build on this, we next explore the relationship between these variables. We used Pearson correlation analysis to check how strongly each type of support is related to teaching efficacy. The results showed a significant positive correlation across the board. All of these correlations were significant at the 0.01 level. Specifically, organizational support shows the strongest relationship. This means that the more support lecturers feel they have, the more confident they tend to feel about their teaching. And next, about research question 3, we moved on to the regression analysis to see which types of support could actually predict teaching efficacy. The regression model turned out to be statistically significant. According to the adjusted R-squared value, around 36% of the variance in teaching efficacy could be explained by the combination of the support factors. So what do these findings actually mean? I think from a theoretical point of view, the study contributes to a better understanding of how different support systems influence teaching efficacy, especially in the context of Chinese private universities. It helps fill a gap in the existing literature. And from a practical perspective, the results can be really helpful for university leaders and faculty developers. If we want to boost teaching efficacy, we should think about improving how institutions provide support, not just through policies, but also through building better team culture and collaboration. And as we come to the end of the presentation, let me summarize the main takeaway points. The first is about this study confirms that institutional support plays a major role in influencing how lecturers feel about their teaching. And the second, this suggests that when lecturers feel supported through clear policies, resources, and a collaborative work environment, their confidence and effectiveness in teaching increase. And the last one, future research could explore possible mediating variables like job satisfaction or burnout to research deeply. And then bring me to the end of my presentation. Thank you all for your time and attention. I will be happy to answer any questions or hear your thoughts. And if you would like to get in touch later, you can reach me at my email as shown. Thank you all.